Okay, one of the tasks this week is exercise G on page 175. Writing genre, planning a persuasive text. Plan a persuasive newspaper article about a place you would recommend for a holiday. So persuasive means persuading. So you're trying to convince the reader that they should go to this place, that it's a really good place, right? And the reason they feel it's a good place is because you have shown them that through what you have written about it. You've made it out to be a great place, okay? You're persuading them to want to go. Number 1, choose your destination. It could be somewhere in Ireland or a foreign country. 2, use the internet or books to research some facts about your chosen destination. Try to answer these questions. Now, guys, I understand that we might not all have constant access to the internet. So if you're doing this and you don't have access to look up information about a certain area, you can make it up for the purpose of this task. I know it's meant to be based on reality, but if you have to pretend, that these are the facts about a place, that's no problem. The main thing is that we can write a persuasive piece or convincing piece, okay? So the main questions you have to think about are, how long will it take to get there? What will the weather be like? What kind of accommodation is available? What activities can you do there? What kind of food might you eat there? What currency do they use? Is it suitable for small children and babies? Okay, there are several questions that you can think about. Try to answer them all, right? Give you more of an idea as to what type of thing you should be writing. Write your personal opinions about the place, so what you yourself think of the place. Okay, here is just general information about the place, and this is what you think. Now, 4, choose an interesting title for your article. Usually you'll have written the guts of your article or jotted down the main points before you come up with the title, because you can base the title on what you are going to be writing about. Plan the layout of your article. Will you use images, subheadings, fact boxes, etc.? Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Now, for when you're doing out this plan, I want you to think about the main aspects of persuasive writing, okay? And I'm going to write these down here. These are the things we need to think of when we are writing out our plan. So, persuasive article. Okay, so we should have a nice opening line. So the opening line might be, oh God, I'm just going to think of a place that I'm going to write about. I'm going to write about Galway, okay? The opening line might be, if you are looking for a fun weekend away, look no further than Galway. Right? That is an opening line. It has drawn the reader's attention to Galway and the fact that it is a fun place to go and that you get a weekend of enjoyment out of it, okay? So that sentence is an example of an opening line. Okay? The next thing you need to think about are paragraphs. Your article should have different paragraphs. Now, in relation to the questions here, how long will it take to get there? What will the weather be like? What kind of accommodation is available? Each of these could be its own paragraph. Now, they don't have to be long. We can have short paragraphs. So, I'm going to write paragraphs. And I'm going to show you what each paragraph is going to have a subheading, so a little heading, and then I'll write a couple of lines about it, okay? So for this one, how long will it take to get there? I might write duration, which means how much time something takes, duration of trip. That might be the title of my first paragraph. My next paragraph, what will the weather be like? Next paragraph, weather. And then I'll write a couple of lines, right? I have a couple of lines about the duration of the trip. I have a couple of lines about the weather. What kind of accommodation is available? Accommodation. Right? A couple of lines about the accommodation. What kind of activities can you do there? The next paragraph, activities. And so on. Okay, you do a title of a little a sub-paragraph, a small paragraph for each of the questions. Okay? You can write a line or two about each. Try and do 2 to 3 lines, okay? Now, so persuasive article, we have our opening line. We have our paragraphs. Supporting arguments is the next thing. And this is linked to the paragraphs, okay? So I'm going to put it in kind of under it. Supporting arguments. Supporting arguments basically means why or because. All right. So if you say something, you have to prove it by giving another piece of information. For example, what kind of accommodation is available? So you could write down, accommodation. There is a wide range of accommodation types available in Galway. How can I support this, or how can I prove this? I could say, this is clear to be seen on booking.com, where if you type in Galway, you will get hundreds of search results. Okay? I'm providing more information with my supporting argument. I'm not just writing a sentence, I'm providing more information. I'm showing why that's true. Like, there's lots of accommodation in Galway. Well, prove it. This is supported by the fact that when you look it up on booking.com or Trivago, you obtain hundreds of search results for Galway City, okay? So a sentence that supports what you've written. If you say, what will the weather be like? You might say the weather is usually, you might say the weather can be a bit hit and miss in Galway. And then underneath it, you might say, for example, in the month of February 2020, it rained 70% of the time. That's completely made up, but that's just supporting argument. You're supporting what you're saying. Okay, so we try and do a few of those. You need to make sure you're going to use persuasive language, which is the last important thing. Persuasive language. It's called a persuasive article. It needs to have persuasive language. Now, and persuasive language is the type of words that we use to show that something is the way we're saying it is, to prove it, to make the writer really believe us. Okay, we're trying to persuade them. So for this, the 3 types of persuasive language we can use are emotive words. Okay, emotive. And that would be adjectives. And adverbs that show how the writer is feeling or what the writer thinks. So you might say, the weather in Galway is amazing. Now, I'm after saying a minute ago it would rain 70% of the time, but this is just for the sake of an example. The weather in Galway is amazing, okay? I'm using an emotive term there. I'm saying that the weather is amazing and you're really going to enjoy it because it's so good, okay? if I didn't want to persuade someone, if I wanted to say, make sure you go to Galway and don't go to another county. You have to be careful what county I say now, in case someone has parents from this county. Dublin, right? I'm from Dublin, so I'm allowed to say this. If I wanted to say, make sure you go to Galway and you don't go to Dublin. The weather in Galway is amazing. The weather in Dublin is appalling. Appalling, right? If I see the word appalling, I'm going to think, God, I don't want to go there. So I'm going to use good, positive words, emotive words to get the reader to want to go, or believe that I'm being honest and I'm talking about this place being great. Okay. Now, the next type of persuasive language is questions. These are going to be rhetorical questions. I've mentioned this before. Rhetorical questions are questions where you are asking the reader the question, but you're kind of just asking it so that they will think. You're not wanting an answer from them. You just want to elicit a response from the point of view of them thinking. You want to get them thinking, right? So, I might say something like, "What is the point in going away for a weekend when you know it'll rain the whole time?" Okay? That's me saying, why would you go to Dublin? You know it's going to rain. Come to Galway, it won't. Obviously, that's probably the opposite. I'd say it rains more in Galway than Dublin, but this is just an example, okay? Like, why would you do that? Questions to try and persuade them to do what you're asking them to do, okay? So like, questions. How could you refuse such a fantastic offer? That's a question. If you had mentioned in the accommodation section, you can get some, you can rent stay overnight in a hotel for really good value. And then you could write a question, how could anyone refuse such a fantastic offer? Okay, that's asking the question, but you're not wanting the reader to answer you. You're just wanting them to think, yeah, you're right, that is actually true. You couldn't pass it, it's too great value. All right, and the last one then is opinion phrases. And you are allowed to use these in a persuasive article. I am of the belief that Galway is the best city in Ireland. It is my opinion that the landscape in Connemara is more beautiful than anywhere else in the country. All right, these type of things. I believe, I am of the opinion, I feel, those type of things, right? Where you are telling the reader what you think and it is persuading them to agree and to go along with what you're saying. Okay, so they're the main things I want you to think about when you are planning your persuasive article. An opening line, paragraphs based on the questions in number 2 there, supporting arguments. So if you say something in your paragraph, give another bit of information to support it, a bit of factual information. Persuasive language, persuading the reader to agree with you or believe you by using emotive words, questions, and opinion phrases.